Paul Newman wasn't just a movie star. He was an American institution, a man whose blue eyes, quiet confidence, and understated charisma turned him into one of Hollywood's most enduring legends. But after his death in 2008, something unexpected happened. The calm, generous image he had carefully built over decades gave way to a complicated and deeply emotional battle inside his own family. And strangely enough, at the center of it all was a bottle of salad dressing. To understand what went wrong, you have to understand who Paul Newman really was. He wasn't just a 3-time Oscar winner and 8-time nominee audiences remember from classics like Cool Hand Luke and The Color of Money. He was also a director, a race car driver, a devoted husband, a father of 6, and one of the most successful celebrity philanthropists in history. Long before celebrity brands were trendy, Newman had quietly built something revolutionary. In the early 1980s, what began as a joke between friends, bottling homemade salad dressing and giving it away at Christmas, turned into Newman's Own, a food company that pledged to donate 100% of its profits to charity. Not a portion, not a percentage after expenses. All of it. It was an unheard-of business model. His face, smiling gently from labels on pasta sauce, popcorn, cookies, and salad dressing, became a symbol of trust. Consumers felt good buying it. The ingredients were simple. The mission was pure. Over time, the brand generated hundreds of millions of dollars for charitable causes. For Newman, it wasn't about wealth. It was about legacy. And that's where the trouble began. When Paul Newman passed away in September 2008 at the age of 83 after a battle with cancer, he left behind a substantial estate reportedly valued at around $600 million. But unlike many celebrities whose fortunes are scattered among properties and investments, a massive part of Newman's legacy was tied to Newman's Own and its charitable foundation. His will-name business manager Brian Murphy and longtime associate Robert H. Forrester as co-executors of his estate and leaders within the Newman's Own organization. A third executor, if needed, would be selected by vote among his daughters. At first glance, it seemed organized, but almost immediately after his passing, tensions began to surface. Newman had always projected an image of unity and generosity, but estate transitions are rarely smooth, especially when family members feel excluded from decision-making. Some of Newman's daughters, particularly Susan Kendall Newman, voiced serious concerns about how the company and foundation were being managed. In interviews, Susan did not mince words. She suggested that members of the Newman family had lost confidence in Forrester's leadership and questioned whether her father's charitable mission was being protected in the spirit he intended. The heart of the dispute wasn't about personal greed, at least not publicly. It was about control. Who would shape Newman's philanthropic empire? Who would protect his legacy? And who would determine how hundreds of millions of dollars continued to be distributed? One major complication in the situation was a legal safeguard embedded in Newman's will, a no-contest clause. This type of provision states that if any beneficiary challenges a will in court and loses, they risk forfeiting their inheritance entirely. In practical terms, that clause created enormous pressure. Any legal action to dispute the estate structure could come with devastating consequences. As a result, frustration simmered rather than exploded outright. The disagreements extended beyond internal family disputes. Questions were raised about compensation structures, executive authority, and the future direction of Newman's Own foundation. Some family members believed the estate was being managed in a way that was too corporate, too detached from the grassroots warmth that defined Paul Newman's personality. Newman's image had always been humble. He famously downplayed his own success. He once joked that the only reason he started the food company was because he had too much ego to put someone else's face on a bottle. But after his death, that humility was tested by reality. Then came another unexpected twist. In 2019, Robert Forrester was removed from his leadership positions at Newman's Own following allegations of inappropriate workplace behavior brought forward by female employees. An internal investigation led to his departure as president of the Newman's Own Foundation and CEO of the food company. This development added another layer of turbulence to an already sensitive situation. While Forrester later acknowledged that mistakes had been made during his tenure and expressed that there were things he would have done differently, the leadership shakeup intensified public scrutiny of how Newman's estate had been handled from the beginning. Meanwhile, Joanne Woodward, Newman's beloved wife of 50 years, remained largely shielded from the controversy. The majority of tangible personal assets and royalties were directed toward her, consistent with Newman's lifelong devotion to her. Their marriage had been one of Hollywood's rare success stories, rooted in loyalty and privacy. But the food empire, the charitable machine bearing Newman's face, became the emotional epicenter of disagreement. To outsiders, it seemed surreal. A brand built entirely on generosity was now tangled in legal language, boardroom power struggles, and family discord. Yet perhaps this is a paradox of legacy. When someone builds something meaningful, especially something worth hundreds of millions of dollars, the question of stewardship becomes complicated. Intentions, however noble, must pass through legal systems and human personalities. Paul Newman had always believed in giving everything away. But deciding who controls everything after you're gone can fracture even the closest families. Over time, leadership at Newman's Own evolved again, with new executives stepping in to stabilize the foundation and food company. The charitable mission continues today, having donated more than $600 million to thousands of causes worldwide. The salad dressing still sits on grocery shelves. The popcorn is still sold. The mission still reads, 100% of profits to charity. From a consumer's perspective, nothing appears broken. But behind that smiling logo lies a complicated reminder that even the most beloved icons leave behind unfinished business. Paul Newman's life was defined by generosity, creativity, and family devotion. His death revealed how fragile even well-planned legacies can become once personalities, pride, and power enter the equation. The truth isn't that everything fell apart. It's that even icons cannot fully control what happens after they're gone. And sometimes, the most unexpected symbol of conflict is a bottle of salad dressing.